I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Hidori Kuro joins us. Hi.
Hello, and thank you for having me. And hello to you all as well, masters and misses. Sorry, I wanted to get that out the way.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Yes, I am a cybernetic butler VTuber. I once started as a cyberpunk, but it kind of just went back and forth from there. I usually just focus on more story-focused gaming, as multiplayer drives me crazy. Most recently, I started doing reaction videos as well as VR chat world logs on TikTok.
Ah, that's interesting. Now, why does multiplayer drive you crazy?
Because when it comes to multiplayer, I have to worry about not just myself, but others who can't seem to pay attention. When I'm playing single-player games or co-op games like Final Fantasy XIV, at least I know I have some cooperation to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to get in somebody else's head, and sometimes you don't want to be in their head.
Trust me, you don't want to be in mine.
Yeah. My mind is a terrible thing. No one should be allowed anywhere near it.
Amen.
Well, it's tough sometimes to, back in the old days, in the very old days, if you were doing a two-player game, you're in the same room, and you could see what is going on. Now you could be in the game with somebody upside down from you on the other side of the planet, and you have really no idea what they're thinking going into it.
Right.
It's very, very tough to keep that going, and does that carry over to your streams? I mean, because of that, do you have very many collaborations?
I actually don't. See, I've actually been on hiatus from Twitch since February for mental health reasons.
Okay.
As I want to focus more on making content outside of the purple streaming app.
Yeah.
Hence why I started doing reactions on YouTube and my VR chat logs.
Yeah. So when you did get started, was it full on because you wanted to be a VTuber, or did you want to just give it a try, or did you want to dip your toe in, or had you been content creating before?
I actually have been content creating before I started VTubing.
Mm-hmm.
It was back before COVID was at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
I was originally started doing Twitch streaming as a hobby, and I used one of those pre-made overlays from Stream Elements. But for whatever reason, growing up, I never liked having my face on a camera, unless I was like in costume or something or cosplay.
Right.
So when I saw one of those pre-made overlays that has that like box in the top corner with where your camera's supposed to be,
right,
I got sick of seeing that blank space in every stream when I looked through my VODs. And at the time, I didn't really care about VTubing. That was just some fad that got a little too oversaturated too quickly.
Right.
But I did my toe in because I needed something in that box. So one of my friends in another Discord server I'm in sold me Vroid Studio, and it just things went from there.
Now, you're the first person to say I started VTubing just to fill in the box.
It just felt like seeing that empty box felt like an eyesore during my streams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since you did that, do you get, or were you able to get a lot more buy-in from the folks who were watching?
Yes and no. I never really broke over 10 viewers. That's usually my goals when it comes to anything I upload. At least getting to double digits when it comes to views or likes.
Right.
And here's the thing: when I started VTubing, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't do any big debut. I didn't do any advertising, any networking, anything. I just set it up and just went straight back to streaming.
Wasn't a big lore.
In fact, In fact, I wasn't even Hidori Kuro then yet. At the time, I was still using my old name, Kuro Zerafim, and I was still trying to work off that. I had a whole different persona at the time called a dispatcher for an organization, a Splinter Cell organization called Cybers of Digital Innocence. I tried to work off that, but it really felt like after a year or two, it felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere with it.
Yeah.
After some more research into actual VTubing, did some more looking through assets, went to Boot, which is pretty much the one-stop shop for any 3D VTuber.
Right.
And at around last year, literally on my birthday of last year, I did a whole debut rebrand into Hidori Kuro.
Was it what you wanted at the time? How long did it take for you to come up with the Hidori Kuro brand?
It took literally 6 months.
Oh wow! I mean, that's quite a long time to knock the pieces off the edges there. Were you trying
The
to get
thing
it
is,
as
I came
refined
up
as
with the
possible?
Butler. I came up with the Butler VTuber stick from seeing the outfit that my usual model is wearing. I came
Right.
up with the Butler VTuber idea from seeing it on Boot. It's an asset I bought off Boot.
Okay. And from there, you took what you had and then and basically wrote the character from that.
Yes, one of the hardest pieces of my VTuber model, it was the hair. Because here's the thing: how often do you see any black VTubers, Eric? Realistically,
Not too many in comparison. To
one of the main challenges for us as black VTubers, it's the hair. Because as African Americans, we have a certain hairstyle that we prefer.
And it's just not easy to get a model with that.
Most of the time, some of us would prefer models with afro-like hair or curls, dreads, that kind of thing.
Right.
I wanted to go for a slick back look, something sophisticated of a butler. It took a month before finding the hairstyle I was looking for.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a niche hairstyle to start with, and then I remember when I first started watching VTubers several years ago that there was a real undercurrent of where black VTubers couldn't get art of their characters. People were turning them down left and right because they didn't. I mean, that's first of all, that's horrible. If you're an artist, you're a freaking artist. Do art, you know. I mean, come on. Secondly, is that still true today?
In my opinion, I haven't really seen it. I've actually put in commissions before, and I've never had any problems.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that it was. I think people got called out enough a couple years ago over it, where they basically it was the marketplace kind of settled a lot of that hash a little bit.
If they did, I didn't notice. I do my best to stay out of VTuber drama. So the whole you know the situation with Cinder.
Yes, absolutely.
I literally did not know anything about that until I saw it on my For You on Twitter. And even to this day, I still know next to nothing because I try to stay out of stuff like that. If it doesn't involve me, it's not my business.
Well, there certainly is a volume out there if you want to read about it.
I bet.
Yeah, I didn't read that much in college. I'm not gonna do it now about something like that. No, thank you. For you getting into it, you filled the hole, so to speak. So did you just get kind of burned out on it after a while, or was the particular Twitch type of streaming just becoming tougher for you to keep doing?
It was a mix of both. And on one hand, I didn't mind doing Twitch streaming. It was the issue that I always focus on more story focused content. So majority of the time, I'm like so locked in that I'm often quiet because I'm so focused on what's happening at the time. and that doesn't really do well for an audience, especially when you have a quiet, non-existent audience
Yeah,
or viewers.
yeah, and because you have less people to take up any any uh any dead time, so to speak, in what's going on. Yeah, you gotta fill it. And with a storyline game, you don't necessarily the pace of it doesn't really play to that either, does it?
Not particularly. Like if something happens that really gets my attention, I'll speak up on it, or
Mm,
something that has me questioning a situation or a character's motives, then I'll definitely be rambling.
mm, yeah, if it's a something with their that you just next move, but if you've got somebody fighting out there, or you're running for your life or screaming, that could take up a lot of time.
Right. Another thing that kind of burned me out was trying to keep a schedule.
Yeah, yeah. That
Because
that kind of trips up a lot of people, I think.
especially when you have a job, a day job that has the most absolute random times of scheduling. Here's the thing with my job: what time I clock in, what time I clock out, even what time I go on break is random every day.
Oh man,
So it
that's
makes so when came to content creation, I had to stick to only my 2 days where I don't have work for streaming, and even then, it still felt like I wasn't doing enough.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it is very tough to keep up a schedule when you have a situation like that. I mean, first of all, you have to have your priorities. You have to put food on the table and pay at least one bill every once in a while to do
Right.
that. And if you have to put all that first, and then to something that you enjoy doing, if you're just scheduling it on the days you know you have off, now you've got a 7-day work week in a ways, because now you're working towards having this. It really does create a no room to breathe schedule.
It does. It does.
Well,
So I had to take an indefinite hiatus from Twitch. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I will go back to live streaming because I've gotten so comfortable with just recording videos and doing my VR chat stuff.
yeah.
And honestly, I've actually seen more attention on my VR chat stuff than anything else I ever make.
Well, yeah, maybe that's the line you need to go. Is that everybody's got their own niche to fill. Everybody's got their own, and everybody is different. You're not. I know that there's people who are like, your model is the same, your character thing is, but everybody's got something different about them. Uh,
That's part of the thing with about me being a burly VTuber. How how many times have you seen a VTubers with maid outfits?
oh, a lot.
Now, how many have you seen with butler outfits?
Not nearly as many.
And that's why I chose to be butler VTuber.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But if somebody really wanted to be you know a made VTuber, and more power to them, I guess. It's
True, nothing wrong with that.
you can't go on there, but then if you go on there and complain that somebody else stole your stuff, like, wait a second, you chose one of the paths most traveled there. It's going to be very tough to have an original, uh, entirely original character design from that. Um,
It really is.
yeah.
There's actually three characters I got inspiration from for my butler my character's lore actually too.
Okay, which one of those, or if you want to say?
Sebastian Michaelis from Black Butler,
Mm-hmm.
Von Lycon from Zenless Zone Zero,
Okay.
and Walter from Helsing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. That works. That works. Yeah. And having the cybernetic side of it, what
The
gave you?
cybernetic side of it came from Cyberpunk Edge Runners, basically.
Oh, okay. So but which was the most important for you, the cyber part or the butler part?
Mostly the cyber parts. I wanted to try to build something based off a futuristic setting.
Yeah. 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 We're probably closer to that than we know. Uh,
Mm.
when I was a kid growing up, we had a couple of television shows, The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman.
I vaguely remember
Oh
those.
yeah, well, um, believe it or not, the person who played the Bionic Woman was in the game Death Stranding.
Really?
Yes, the blonde woman who was the president, that was Lindsay Wagner, who played the Bionic Woman, and I got the name wrong actually, but anyway, that's what threw me for a loop when I saw people playing, and I'm like, what? Where does she come from? But she did a great job with it, by the way. And considering the generation she came from, so we'd have thought back in the '70s that by now we would have had some more of this going on, but not so much.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's up to your generation. You do it.
A little hard to do that considering our current state of affairs.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not our fault. Our generation is done. We're in retirement age now.
Yeah, that's true.
we're leaving it. We're leaving the way it is, and we're gonna have a lot of fun trying to explain to our grandchildren why we left it so bad for everybody. and we don't have anybody to blame, unfortunately, for that sort of thing. But here we've got a situation with VTubing that you get a chance to interact with so many people around the world live. Now you step back from that a little bit now and gone back to the recording part. Is part of this because you have a bit of a safety net with the recording? You can go back and edit and come back fresh, or was that even a part of it? What you're thinking?
It is that reason. It feels easier to edit as well as makes necessary cuts when you needed to compared to doing my Twitch VODs.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, there's less to work with and less to worry about, especially when you know where already know ahead of time where you're going to be doing the cuts.
Right. Yeah. It's one of the things that I do with these interviews is I'm pulling behind the curtain a little bit. Is if there's a stumble, and there has been plenty, usually on my part, I'll write down the time, and then when I go back and edit, I just pop it out of there. It's not that big a deal. But if you go through a 3-hour stream, that's a little different than a 50-minute interview to go through, and
This is what
you can't really stop in the stream and mark that down and keep going.
right. That's also one of the reasons why I started doing reactions too. Reactions don't take as much time as gameplay videos.
Yeah. And have you had a situation with those that you've done a reaction video and then you kind of like, I think I can do better, and did it again?
I actually haven't. I try to stick to reacting as blind to videos so I can react to as blind as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've noticed when it came to my reaction series that I have on YouTube, majority of it is all death battles.
Mm.
I'm trying to react to other stuff. The thing is, I'm a bit picky. I know it shouldn't be, but there's always so many indie projects out there that you never know where you want to look towards. And by the time I get home from work to have the time to do it, I'm too tired to even think about it and just want to spend my free time doing I want to do.
Exactly. Now, with the reaction videos that you're reacting to, do you look out for things that might be AI generated, or is that something that you're trying to filter out at all?
Oh no, I try to watch out for AI because I absolutely hate it. It's gone to Here's the thing with me and AI. I feel like it's evolving too much to the point where I'm constantly criticizing, constantly inspecting to find the tiniest inconsistency to tell me if it's AI or not. Because it's gone so bad that it's messing with my perception.
Oh yeah, and here you get a situation too the other way. If I don't like AI because I know what it's done to announcers and what it's going to continue to do to voice actors and announcers in the future. It's going to make it very tough for anybody with a real vocal cord to get a job. Doing that, it's it's just going to happen. You just got to deal with it. But
this is why I like indie projects like Glitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes it, and you'll hear it when it comes out, especially at first. But even if you're on the fence about these things, and maybe you don't have an opinion one way or the other, maybe that's fine. But then you start feeling bad about enjoying something that does have AI in it, or something that might have
Right.
AI in it. It's like, oh, that was
Right.
funny, but should I laugh or should I be angry?
If anything, I would just be feeling disappointed and frustrated.
Yeah, yeah, and you can, and we're at the point right now where you could definitely tell if there's an AI voice
Oh
because
yeah,
they're
definitely.
going to mispronounce a word or use the most ridiculous syntax. Um,
Or if there's like a slight how the tone is in
right.
considering a certain situation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that'll tip it off, or it'll be the same British voice you hear in every single one of them. The same guy for every single one. Um, that'll change when sampling gets better, and technology will get better. It'll be tougher to do, but with art, it might be a little different because of the perfection of it makes it what you could spot right now. Is it?
Right, because every artist has their own specific style, and you can distinct from each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you see somebody a picture of somebody online and they're absolutely symmetrical, like there's no way that's real. No one is symmetrical.
Then
It,
you gotta go digging through and seeing all their artwork and seeing if it's the same consistency or if
yeah,
there's any discrepancies.
yeah. It's there's no the one side of the face looks exactly like the other side of the face. Um, and I dare you to find anybody who really has that. It just doesn't work that way. Now now you got to worry about whether it's an actual artist or whether it's AI or just a bad artist. Wow, that's so bad it could have been AI. But there's that too. I People could do lines and voice acting so badly that it might as well have been an AI person.
I
And
feel like it could be, but at the same time, you would know there are times where it sounds so bad that you know it's not AI.
yeah, that's true. No, no computer would have been that bad. I, I did commentary for pro wrestling for a little while here locally, and two fellows who I knew really well had a match, and there was nothing wrong with it. It just didn't have a zing to it, you know. They did everything
Mm.
correct, and the crowd gave them polite applause as they left. And they come back to the back and they asked me afterwards, said, "How was the match?" I go, "Well, it was competent."
Competent.
Yes, and they both nodded and he says, "Yeah, we figured." You didn't do anything wrong, but it just wasn't. There wasn't a lot of thing to. That's something that
Like there
AI.
was a lot to improve on.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, there wasn't anything that added any spice to it, and that's something right now that AI can't really do yet, to any degree. Um, so we got to jump on it while we can, while we can still acknowledge what's going on with it. So, what type of videos are you reacting to right now?
Well, like I said earlier, majority of my reaction series, House Odyssey Reacts,
Hmm.
has been mostly death battles.
Hmm.
You know, like with Wiz and Boomstick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
In
a
between those have been indie animations from either Glitch or other creators, and I think my most popular reaction video was for the Gaslight District from Glitch.
there you go. Okay. Now, what gets you so much about that particular animation style?
I think I commented on how the Gaslight District reminded me a bit of the Tim Burton movies
Mm,
because I absolutely love the Tim Burton movies. I loved Nightmare Before Christmas, The Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie.
yeah, it has that horror esque type thing. Not exactly
Yes,
horror, but horror
with a
esque.
mix of slight dark humor or comedy in it
Yeah,
that keeps you engaged.
yeah. I kind of combine it with burlesque a little bit. There's humor behind it of the horror variety. It's
Right.
it's it can be a little risque sometimes, but it's also it's not supposed to scare you out of your seat. It's
And the other thing, it was the animation.
yeah.
The animation, it wasn't stop motion, but it looked like it. And I
Mm,
love stop motion animation.
yeah, yeah. See, that's another thing with the animation is um, people are continuing to innovate with that and come up with new ways to show. Um, and sometimes it's better when it's simple. Uh, you can have a game like situation where I'll look at an Undertale, for example. Undertale isn't the most realistic looking game in the entire world, is it? I mean, it's
It is not, but it became one of the most beloved and most well-known indie games known even now.
oh yeah, because of the personality and the gameplay and the personality of it and what it meant to you when you played it and how it drew you in. I'm not sure it would have had the same type of effect had it been, um, even Final Fantasy level stuff. I mean, I don't really want to see the realistic dancing, computer. I don't really need to see that. Um, and there's just something about the whimsy of it that added to the actual gameplay, that sort of thing.
I think seeing a realistic Sans and Papyrus would be more frightening.
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't certainly have been as cute. I'll say that. I don't think I can see some people playing Sans or voicing them, but I can't see an actual Sans, and I can certainly see somebody doing the Papyrus, but it'll probably end up being Jim Carrey. But um, it would it would be interesting, but I don't want to see a live action of it at any
I
time
mean, Jim
soon.
Carrey is Papyrus. Well, see, Jim Carrey can do a lot of work as comedic characters.
Yeah,
Him as Papyrus wouldn't be a stretch.
yeah. Oh no, he'd have that. He'd be able to do it. It's just that.
The question is who could play Sans, though? That would be the real question.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a few folks, but Danny DeVito's probably too old now. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
love Danny DeVito. He didn't he play Phil in the Hercules movie?
yeah, he did actually. He did, and he's got one of those voices that you can that will transfer over from acting to voice acting. Some voices don't. Um, it just have you ever seen the movie Food Fight? It's terrible. I hope
I heard of it, and
yeah,
that's why I never watched it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
never watched it because I heard how bad it is. I've seen clips of it, and
yeah,
I could tell that was trash.
yeah. They had a couple of folks who you would know their voices, but there's no way they should have been doing that. It just didn't. I can't see them doing that and making it work. But then you watch a movie like Toy Story, where a lot of people you wouldn't think made sense in that sort of thing. But anyway, we're getting past it. What I was talking about, which was your content for your uh, reactions. Are you going to expand that soon? Is there anything you'd like to do reaction videos to you haven't done yet?
I do want to focus on doing reactions to more indie animations,
Mm.
and I have been considering doing reactions to Stickman animations because I remember watching them when I was younger, when I was still in middle school and high school, and how amazingly animated those were compared to what you see in most animation now. Like
Yes.
the most simplistic looking characters have like the most perfectly choreographed fight scenes you could ever see.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. These folks are well, artists are artists anyway, and they'll find something and they'll turn it into art. And when they're good enough to take something as simple as a stick man, which I can even almost draw, almost, um, and turn it into something that you can buy into as a fairly realistic character. The folks who did the Henry Stickmin collection, that
Oh
was
yes, that
that was
I actually did play that game on Twitch.
yeah. What'd you think of it?
I love the fails more than the actual successes.
Yeah, yeah. That's absolutely that's the kind of the whole point. you had to go through every fail. Otherwise, what are you doing? I mean, there's only one route to success, but there's a lot of failures. Let's find out what the failures are first, and we'll figure out the success along those lines. And that may have contributed to it is how well received those were. Um, but again, it's you got to have it in the right artist's hands to do something like that too. Um,
Right.
yeah,
And the amount of references they were able to put in each episode.
yes, it was like the old airplane movie where um, the first real uh, parody type thing like that, where they could throw in all the references and people were still surprised that there were references. Uh, Nowadays, if you see a movie like that, you just run because you know that Scream 9000 is going to be the same as 752 for the most part. Um, so you're going to look more at the independent uh, animators. Any other types of videos, um, experiment videos? Anything you're going to take a look at?
Hard to say, will it really?
Well, do you take
I
requests?
was I was thinking of doing reactions to the abridged animes.
Mm, yeah.
Like what I saw I think like it was either last month or a month before. I saw the first episode to Free Ren Abridged, and this was after I finished the first season of Free Ren Beyond the End.
Mm. So tell me a little bit about what is it the same as the other series, but with all of the the boring parts taken out, or what?
When it comes to the abridged series, it's usually they try to follow the same plot, but they ab lib, like
Mm.
make it comedic as possible while still
Ah,
staying on the
okay.
theme.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Team Four Star?
No, I have not. I don't believe I have.
I They're good. They're a perfect example of how an abridged series is.
Okay. Okay. I might have by accident now that I think about it, but I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Mm.
I got a lot of years to sort through. I don't know what happened in each one. But so it's a kind of comedic look in a way, but not a completely satirical look.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, and it does it do its job of getting you interested in the actual series?
It does. I've heard of people getting into Hellsing because of Hellsing abridged.
Mm. And just see exactly what do they? How did this happen?
I don't know.
Going back and checking the actual series. Uh, well, that's that's you young whippersnappers. You don't have any attention span. You got to shorten it up as much as possible. You
Hey,
know,
I grew up in the early 2000s. My attention span is fine.
yes, it it's very interesting. Now we're getting our entertainment this way, and so with what you're doing now, and your channels that are up now, are there any different types of long form or short form content you'd like to create?
In terms of short form content, I have been dipping my toes into VR chat. I haven't been doing any. I did like one video, and that was just for a joke about how because my character runs a butler cafe,
Hmm.
like a butler equivalent to a maid cafe.
Right.
I made a joke. It was basically a joke video about telling people to stop asking for pumpkin spice lattes because I my character has this thing where they take pride in every cup of coffee they make. They ground up the beans, blend it by hand. They absolutely hate instant coffee or
Yes.
any of those popular coffee trends.
Yes.
You come into this cafe, you're gonna get an actual cup of coffee made by hand with actual love in it.
I won't even bring
And you're
up
going to enjoy
Keurigs.
it.
I won't even bring up K cups and Keurigs as far as that goes. None of that. Then that would be
But yeah, that's pretty much the only VR chat video I've done.
yeah.
But when it comes to other content in VR chat, it's usually just me taking pictures in different worlds that catch my eye
Ah,
and writing down my thoughts on them. I usually publish those thoughts into a log with the pictures on Blue Sky first. Then once that's posted, I save the photos and copy paste the text from Blue Sky onto my phone, and then post the photos and the uh description, my thoughts into the post on TikTok.
you really MacGyvered it.
Yep. It really was the only way for me to do that because you can't upload pictures onto TikTok through the desktop app. You have to do it through the phone app.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about uploading anything to TikTok. I think I might have an account there by accident, but I'm not
It's
sure.
it is a bit of a workaround when it
Yeah.
comes to like uploading clips of my reaction videos. I have to cut cut and edit the clips down, then upload the clips to Mega,
Hmm.
move on the desktop app, then open Mega on my phone, save it to my device, and then upload it onto TikTok so I can edit in like the captions and everything.
Oh my, that's a lot of work.
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh my gosh. As opposed to see there, I've gotten it down to a science now for the interviews. It usually doesn't take me that long to put together, depending on how many edits I have to do. Um, but I can set that all up beforehand and kind of cut and paste and stick in, and I don't have to go through all of the rigmarole just to upload it. I can go direct to that. That takes a while. Any long form type content you're looking for?
Well, that would be my gameplay videos. Like the last gameplay video I did was a playthrough of Killer Frequency for Halloween.
Okay, okay,
It was mainly only 4 hour long videos, really.
yeah, yeah. Are you with those? Is it like one of the old Let's Play videos where you go from beginning to end, or is it an edited type of thing?
It's the beginning to end type thing.
Mm.
I did have to do a few cuts here and there because there were some moments where I didn't know what I had to really think for a moment, or I had to look around for something I couldn't see, and I didn't want to bore the audience with me just running around in complete silence trying to look for what I'm looking for.
I'm completely
So I had to cut
lost.
those parts out.
This was the part where I was completely lost. That would be mine. Episode 2 will be more of the same. Are you looking to do only games that you can complete in that short amount of time, or will you do longer, more involved type games?
I want to do more longer games like story focused games like Final Fantasy and all that. The
Mhm.
thing is, it's kind of hard to motivate myself to do that when I have little to no viewership.
Well,
And I know the whole thing. Don't look at the numbers. Don't pay attention to the numbers. I understand. I get that. I get that. Because here's the thing: the only time I ever notice the numbers is when I'm uploading another video when on YouTube. Because I never check my analytics or anything. The only
right.
time I ever see how much my last video did is when I'm in the middle of uploading another one in YouTube Studio.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You get a lot of information when you're uploading videos that you normally see, and a lot of these you wouldn't even really think of when doing it. And if you've done a lot of videos, you can either get some inspiration from it, or you can get downtrodden pretty fast if you pay too much attention to the numbers. And you still have to do it for yourself first. And is it something that you are enjoying what you're doing now?
I do enjoy VTubing, but mostly as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
If at some day I turn and by some chance VTubing becomes a paying job for me, I'll be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, it's just nothing more than a side hobby for me
Yeah.
to keep me dying of boredom.
Yeah. If it was just enough to pay for a little gas money, it would
But
be,
gas money. Here's the
yeah.
thing: you speak of gas money. I cannot drive. I don't have a license. I'm terrified to be on the road.
Yeah, well, no, you pay somebody else anyway to do it. Uh, yeah, I I was doing the whole weekend with the wrong glasses on. I had my reading glasses on. I was wondering why I couldn't see hardly anything on the road. I had to drive without my glasses, otherwise I wouldn't have any idea. And it was blizzard stuff out going on, so that was a big load of
That's one of the
fun.
reasons I don't like driving. For some reason, in my city, no one can drive right when it comes to bad weather.
Yeah,
So I'm terrified to be behind the wheel around there during that time.
yeah,
Especially during that time, I definitely have to be in work at work.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's just some jobs you have to do it. You have to be there, and if it's you're climbing mountains of snow to get to where you need to go, you're just going to have to find a way around it and get to work. That's all there is to it. Or they'll
That's just the way it is these days.
Yeah, that's the way it was in radio. I had to swim in my car at least one time to get to work, um, with a flood going on, and I've driven on interstates at 30 miles an hour because of the ice to get to work.
Hey, better to drive slow and safe rather than just trying to get the risk your life trying to get there on time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course I was young then, and now I was like, yeah, not so much. Like yeah, now I'm old enough where I can call the younger people to do it. The At my age we call the young the expendable.
I mean, are you wrong though?
Uh, uh, Probably, but we're still going to go with it.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad that you've got a situation now where you're a little more comfortable. With this. Do you see at any time possibly going back to live streaming? If I said right now, here's your big chance to go back to live streaming, would you do it?
I probably would, but I probably wouldn't go back to a schedule. It'd probably be when I actually have the time and the energy for streaming. And if anything, it'd be like a game that isn't multiplayer. If anything, it'd probably be Final Fantasy 14 again,
Hmm.
because that's the one game where it's not main story, but at the same time, it is. It's a co-op
Hmm.
where I don't have to worry about other people unless I'm playing healer or tank.
Mm,
And I do enjoy playing tank as Final Fantasy 14. It's actually kind of fun.
yeah. Yeah, but again, you don't like the having to rely on somebody else while doing the game.
It's different when it
Mm,
comes to MMOs. And in MMO, you need cooperation, and people learn quickly that
yeah,
cooperation matters in an MMO, especially in a dungeon or in a raid.
right.
But in a multiplayer PvP setting, majority of the time, if you don't know how to cope with others, it falls flat quickly, and responsibility just goes out the window.
Yeah, yeah, it does, and the unfortunately with that, a lot of times goes the enjoyability of play because if you've got even if I would think that if you're in there and you're a novice at it and you've got two other novices you're playing with and you foul up a little bit and you're like, okay, well, we're all the same boat. But if you've got two experts and a novice, and the novice is Jerry Lewising his way through and, and causing all sorts of problems, that would make me want to throw the game in rage, probably.
And
Um,
this is why I can't play multiplayer on stream unless I'm with people I know.
yeah, I can, I can,
Which,
I can hear it in your voice when you say that. I've been there. I've done that.
and the thing is, I do have a good number of mutuals who I really do appreciate having known throughout the couple of years I have been VTubing.
Yeah,
And the thing is, with my mutuals, I have never reached out first once. All of my mutuals are the ones that reached out to me.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's good.
Being
I mean, that's. I mean,
one the sorry,
go
one
go.
of the reasons I also went to VTubing is that I am painfully introverted.
Mm. Well, yeah. There's a lot of people who do that, and they've come to go on and realize that they can be a lot more open and be less guarded. I would say more open, less guarded about how they interact with people because there is that shield of a model in the way. Even though you're very much yourself on stream a lot of times, you don't have to worry about you know uh, taking things too personally. Was that something
Right.
that was a problem for you earlier, or were you able to sail through that?
It's still a relative problem now. I want to network. I want to collab with others. The thing is, I'm taking the first step in reaching out myself is always the first struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Even now, even with my mutuals, I'm scared to actually ask if they want to do anything together. And mostly, if I do ask, it mostly be something offline.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's building up. You just don't know sometimes, even with people that you have a rapport with. You don't know how it's going to mix online. Whether you're you might play the game well, but you're not entertaining together, which won't lead to very many listeners and followers. You could be just both completely terrible at it and gain followers, or it could just be a complete mess up and nobody gains anything. So many variables in it, and I can see why somebody would if they were having trouble in the first place might shy away from that. And it'd be really tough to get back to it. But I really look forward to seeing because I think that you've got some left in you. Maybe with some success, showing your way with the videos you're doing right now on the channels we're going to be posting on the description for this interview. Um, Maybe that'll get you back up and going and take another shot at it sometime soon.
I do want to connect with more Black VTubers. I have one mutual that's a Black VTuber, a storyteller VTuber, and she is a wonderful person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, check out
I want
our previous interviews. We've got several too. So it's
right.
yeah. Check out our archives. We have a few hundred folks we've interviewed, and we're
I actually have watched a couple of your previous interviews before because a couple of you have interviewed a couple of my mutuals already.
Oh yeah, who's that? If you don't mind saying.
You, Fraxer, and Renji.
Yes,
if you remember.
Absolutely. And it's just so much fun talking with people with different backgrounds, different talents, and different reasons for doing it. And you get to be the first one to start VTubing to fill the square. But obviously, a very talented and entertaining person. It's just gonna. You're finding your niche now, and that's what you're going to succeed at. I have every thought that that's going to happen for you, and I do appreciate you coming on, Kuro. Thank you so much.
And I thank you for having me. It is my first time doing these interviews at all, and this is my first step into actually dipping my toes into that. And I hope to do more, actually be on more interview shows in the future with other creators as well. It's just a matter of actually, again, putting that foot forward.
Yeah. See, interviewers out there, I say I don't mind if you're poaching guests because you come from a different angle, and there's a lot of folks such as Kuro here who might open up even more under your talk show talents. So please look up the backgrounds and check out these wonderful talents. Kuro, again, thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.